Welcome back to the Chatooine Show, everyone, the best and brightest Star Wars show in the galaxy, filled with a wretched hive of scum and villainy. We're here every Wednesday night talking about all things Star Wars. I'm Star Wars Only tonight. I'm joined with Lunga and Palpamemes. And before we start the show, be sure to subscribe if you like this episode. And stick around so you see more future content. Like us, support us any way you can. You can do it with a super chat or channel membership. And big shout out to our channel members, Katie Miller, Gus Nevin, Leor M, I believe, is the person from last week. That was our very first. And my boy, and your boy, the Cloney boy, who you should all remember from our past episode with him, where we talked about the Mandalorian Renaissance in Star Wars. So check that video out if you haven't yet. So thank you to everyone who is a channel member. And
hold on, say it right. Become a member, Barry, guys. Become a member, Barry.
You guys remember the Chatooine show? I like to remember Chatooine, okay? And by doing that, you will remember Chatooine.
Yes,
when it comes out every month.
Here, let me put it up. We do have, guys, the emojis for members, and the newest one is the one and only face reveal you ever get for Star Wars Only. There it is. There's this emoji.
And honestly, that still doesn't, capture my true elegance and beauty and the rough jadedness on my face and years of depression and cigarettes, I imagine. Whatever the hell I have been through. But yeah,
in his prime is what that is.
That'd be how I look, That'd be how I look. It's a handsome man, if I do say so myself. But do you guys remember May 4th? May the 4th be with you?
Yeah.
I remember May 4th. How was everyone's May 4th? What did you guys do to celebrate May the 4th, the National Star Wars Day?
It's funny because that's actually my my stepson's birthday.
Oh wow.
So jokingly, but I've told my wife that's how I remember Joshua's birthday. It's May the 4th. I can't forget it. I never forget his birthday because it's on May the 4th. I did it by sitting there watching Tales of the Empire. That's literally what I did. Binged it all.
No holiday shopping or anything like that. All the Star Wars deals they talk about.
No, I didn't do. No, I don't have that kind of money to go blasting. Listen, I bought my sabers just a little while ago, and that was an expense that I don't plan on doing again for a long while. So that's where I'm at.
I understand that very well. I've had my moments. Yeah,
are pretty penny. Palpamemes, what would you do for May the 4th?
Yeah, amongst a lot of other people, I saw The Phantom Menace with my brother and his friend and our friend. It was an enjoyable time. Movie's not as good as I remember it from when I think the last time I watched it in full, it must have been like 12 or something like that. And so definitely saw it with a new lens. Just the pacing in it's, oh my. But in terms of, I enjoyed the movie. We laughed a lot in places we probably weren't supposed to laugh at. And so that was what I did for May the 4th. I didn't watch Tales of the Empire that day. I had a very busy day. And so it was simply Phantom Menace. And I remember the Phantom Menace, but not as well as I thought I remembered it, because holy shit, George, you went a little too far in a few places.
Yeah, that he did. I remember May the 4th, and I remember having a good May the 4th. I woke up. I think I saw Tales of the Jedi first. I think what I did is I watched the Morgan Elsbeth arc, and then I went to the theaters. I saw the Phantom Menace, and then I watched
Tales of the Empire. Get it right, buddy. Tales of the Empire. Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi season 2 featuring the Empire.
All the same.
Yeah,
it's all the same.
Whatever. So yeah, seeing Tales of the Empire and then seeing the Phantom Menace and then coming back and finishing Tales of the Empire and everything. It was a good little Star Wars day. Not a lot of news or anything that I thought was like all that great. I got to see the Acolyte preview thing at the Phantom Menace screening. It's so funny. Palpamemes brings up laughing at like wrong moments. I get very irritated in theaters when people are like loud or just any disturbance. I just want peace and quiet in my movie. And they would say things like, victory. And everybody in the theater would laugh. And I'm like, that wasn't supposed to be funny. It's a fucking meme. It's not meant to, they didn't write that to be intentionally funny.
See, we did, like my brother and I didn't go that far. We would literally like laugh out loud. We would look at each other and we'd be like, yeah. And we'd laugh internally. We're not that annoying, but yeah. I can imagine that was very frustrating because,
and then I had
I love Star Wars, but Star Wars fans are cringe as hell, including me. I'm cringe as hell. It is how we are. But when you're in a room of too many hardcore Star Wars fans, Yeah, yeah. Not the best time.
No, they like their memes and everything. It's just that's the only thing that got me. But anywho, Phantom Menace, we've all seen that. It's been 25 years. What more can we say about it over 25 years later? And we got the little acolyte stuff we can talk about a bit at the end. But Tales of the Empire was the big thing that came out this past week, and I feel like I've seen a lot of positive reactions to this. But when you guys watched the first 6 episodes of this Tales of the Empire series, and hopefully we get something following it and everything. But we had two different characters this time than we had in Tales of the Jedi, kind of different settings and whatnot. What was your initial reaction, Lunga, when you saw Tales of the Empire on May the 4th this past weekend?
The first thing I want to say is I'm really, really enjoying the animation style that they're doing for these. The animation style is crisp, not kiddie at all. It's I mean, it looks like it's drawn upon. It's like, it feels like it's the next evolution of the Clone Wars animation style, right? Like it's moved up from that. But it's crisp, it's beautiful. And the dialogue was fucking great. The dialogue in it was really good. I enjoyed the dialogue. I enjoyed the drama that they did with the dialogue and how they kept you hanging on certain words and certain phrases that moved on to the next scenes and stuff. So right off the bat, for an animated show, and I know a lot of people think I poo-poo animated shows. I don't. I love animated shows. But again, to me, there's a difference between an animated show and a live action show, other than it's animated. But it had dialogue for me that was on par with a live action. So it was really good. I was really happy that it was about Morgan Elsbeth. I wanted to know more about this character. And I think I'm starting to tie things together, perhaps with Palpatine. I'm still not sure how it did, but I was happy to see more about her. Barris Offee, I wasn't as interested in to begin with, but I'm like, okay, well, this is a neat little thing they're showing us here. But I realized I have to brush myself up again on all the Inquisitors, because I just don't know. They're mostly faceless, and there's so many, and they're numbered, and they're brothers and sisters. But I always forget which one's which, and apparently they're interchangeable and replaceable. But yeah, no, I thought they did a great job with it. And I was fairly pleased.
What about you, Palpatine? What'd you think about Tales of the Empire?
Yeah, I mean, my initial overall reaction after I watched it was I enjoyed this a lot more than Tales of the Jedi, and I didn't think I would, genuinely. I said it when the trailer dropped that I would for 100% give it an open shot, but based on the trailer, I wasn't too interested in it, especially after Tales of the Jedi. I know we talked about the format, and I think I'm not the biggest fan of the vignette format. I think I've come to that conclusion from Longa's points on that last episode whenever we talked about Tales of the Jedi. But I enjoyed this more. I don't think it's great. I don't think, for me, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I need to rewatch that and stuff. I probably won't watch it again, but for what it was, I enjoyed it. The Morgan Elsbeth episodes, I like it better than the Ahsoka episodes of Tales of the Jedi. I will say that. I still wasn't the biggest fan of them. Overall, I guess seeing Grievous in action was really cool. I've always been a big Grievous fan, but I've always thought he's never been done justice in live action and even Clone Wars. But it's cool to see him kind of how he was now. But the Barris episodes, I thoroughly enjoyed them overall. I thought it was pretty good for what they had to work with and the runtime they had. I really liked the final episode and the whole metaphor with the cave that they used, and we'll go in more detail. But I guess overall, yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't think it was horrible. I don't think it was the best thing ever, but I enjoyed it.
I have to say, I guess we're all in agreement about what we like about this series and everything. I do think it was very good. I enjoyed it far more than I liked Tales of the Jedi. And I think with Tales of the Empire, there's really only one episode of it that I wasn't a fan of, and I've watched it twice now. First time, and then I rewatched it. I think yesterday. There's only one episode that I kind of skimmed through and was like, oh, I don't really care about this. But like Lunga was saying, the animation style has improved so much. It even kind of looks better than Bad Batch, because Bad Batch has some issues with lighting and like some of the dark scenes where I'm like, oh, I can't see anything. I didn't have any
And
of that with this.
the shading, they were extra hard on shading in Bad Batch for some
Oh
reason.
yeah, especially those nighttime scenes and everything. It got ridiculous. But with this show, Tales of the Empire, I do feel like this is the best Star Wars animation has to offer. And if we get something like this every year, can't say I'd be overly satisfied because I feel like just having 6 vignettes that drop at once, it leaves a little bit more to be desired. Not from this series or anything like that, but I do feel like people want something like a Bad Batch, like a Rebels, like a Clone Wars. They can tune in every week and they get a new animated Star Wars show. Feel like that's what animated Star Wars has become. But with this series, I was thoroughly happy. I was not all that interested in Morgan Elsbeth and her backstory, but seeing it, I was satisfied with all the answers. Barris, for years we've wanted a resolution to her character and everything, and this show gave us that. And it didn't do any disservice to her. It wrapped up the story, I felt, pretty nicely, and each episode was very distinct and very different. And honestly, some of them were beautiful. There's an episode where her and this other Inquisitor, I think Lynn, they go to this like village and everything. The animation in it was breathtakingly beautiful. I mean, it's like they really try to go all out in perfection with this animated series right here. And so I really do respect that. So I do think this series was pleasantly surprising to me, and how much I enjoyed it. And looking back on it now and everything, I do think it's going to age well, and probably will have a lot more positive feedback than I think even Tales of the Jedi. Because Tales of the Jedi, when it landed, I know there's a lot of people who like it, and especially the Dooku episodes and everything. But some of the Ahsoka ones, like we talked about last week, was not everybody liked and everything. This one, I haven't really seen anything that negative about it. Maybe a couple YouTubers here or there, but it seemed like a positive reaction.
There was one thing, because when all else fails, if you got to be negative about something, go for the pronouns, because that ruined all 6 episodes.
Oh yeah, but that was just
egregious. It's like,
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, well, most people didn't. And here's the thing. Again, we'll save it when we get to it. When we
but I want to say, to Filotti's props, it seemed like he learned a lot from his first turnaround with this vignette. I don't know if he's done vignettes before. I'm sure he has, but when it comes to Star Wars, to my knowledge, this is his first that he's done with Tales of the Jedi. It seemed like he learned, and it seems like Lucasfilm kind of learned. And the stories we did get for these two were more interesting. And it could just be because it's alongside of the dark side, and seeing dark side stuff is rare in Star Wars. We really don't get it in detail, and so it's always nice to get it. And I want to go back.
We got a little mixture of both too.
Yeah, no, we really did. We got arcs and redemptions
and
stuff, and yeah, like I talked about, the metaphor was with the cave was really cool. But like, to Star Wars Only's point about like how you wouldn't mind if we get this something like this every year. I genuinely, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the format, just on my own subjective liking for storytelling, I wouldn't mind either. I think the problem, I guess, if you want to call it a problem, quote unquote, is for us as fans, it was kind of like we were suffering through the Bad Batch. And then we get, then we have to go through Tales of the Jedi and the Empire and stuff. I think if we get like an animated show like the Bad Batch, but one that is good, and more enjoyable for fans. You know
which one's slotted for that? It's gonna be fucking Omega.
Yeah, well, I'm so
God
curious
help us all.
on because
Tales of Omega.
This is the last Star Wars animated series that we have planned right now, right? Like, I don't expect Tales of the Jedi.
Well, we know that Lucasfilm was hiring.
They said they were working on another Visions, weren't they?
Yeah,
I thought they were working on another Visions.
I think in terms of the Star Wars canon, though, it's like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, yes, but also like I think we said last week, Lucasfilm
I was just answering the question.
Animators.
He said,
"No, I know," and I'm just
animated.
Yeah. No, but you're right. Visions is one, but I am thinking of something akin to Bad Batch, Rebels, or even something like Tales of the Jedi. Now,
what about that Darth Maul show that was happening? You guys remember that?
Okay, first of all, I remember because I was the first to say Ray Park was coming back, but it was live action though.
Yeah, and I was the first to see his post on Instagram. So yeah.
No, I guarantee you weren't. I remember.
It felt like it.
God, I remember opening up my Instagram and be like, oh my god, okay. But anywho.
Did you notice the names of the episodes?
It was all based off of the Yoda line from episode 1, Phantom Menace, which
Path
funny
of Fear,
enough came out
anger,
that same
hate.
day. Yeah, oh yeah. When I was watching those episodes after seeing the Phantom Menace in theaters, I was like, I remember Path of Fear, anger, and hate, and suffering, and all that. Yeah, fucking. I remember. I remember when Yoda was a puppet in the Phantom Menace. You guys remember that? I remember that. I remember when he was a puppet. But yeah, let's get into these episodes. The first one is called The Path of Fear. It's about young Morgan Elsbeth seeking revenge after losing everything. That's the show or episode synopsis of it. But it basically all happens on Dathomir. It's when is this when I'm because I know they invaded Dathomir.
It's when Palpatine wanted when he decided to kill off all the United Sisters.
But is this when they do it in the Dark Horse comic books where Darth Maul is defending it and everything, and Sidious shows up and kills Mother Talzin? Like I'm confused on because don't they invade her in the Clone Wars series
this
as well?
is. Yeah, they did it in the Clone Wars series. This was off of the Clone Wars one. That's what this one was based off of, not the comics.
Okay. Because I think the comics definitely happen after season 6 of the Clone Wars, and I know they invade once before season 6 on Dathomir. But it's kind of nice that this episode is happening at the same time that's going on. But it doesn't. I feel like sometimes Star Wars has a tendency to do that, where this was also happening at the same time. This other big event is happening, but it almost diminishes what's happening simultaneously. I don't know how to describe it in specific instances.
It's a big galaxy, man. It's a big galaxy. A lot of stuff happens in it.
But sometimes, like when you're like, oh, and by the way, Snarby Narnar was also the main reason this happened with Palpatine, because right at the same time, Attack of the Clones, he was doing this and that with Sifo Dyas. It's like, okay, bro, I didn't need this over explanation.
Well, that's why we need a new show, because now they got to answer the question. Well, where was Omega during Rebels? If that's because this is when she became a pilot. Was right in that time period.
Because if it's a character or show I don't like, and then they're like, let's just keep exploring this. It's like, no, it's stop, please.
I also think like some things don't need answers, and it's not worth making a whole show to give us an answer about something. That's
where was Omega? She was one of the hundreds of ships you see flying around during that stuff.
Yeah,
that's what she was.
Like,
but to your
all
point,
I want to know. Okay,
memes. I feel like this show did that very well with Barris Offee, where it's like we all did kind of want to know what happened to her and everything. Like there was some unknown going on with that character and what happened after she got arrested or sent to prison.
Yeah, I think
now we have an answer.
I think this is a question that it did justice for it, in a span of 40-ish minutes, in those 3 episodes. Yeah, 100%.
And that was a big deal in the Clone Wars. When she, that her actions also impacted everything that happened to Ahsoka. So it was kind of a big deal, especially
it was controversial that a Jedi
out
would even do that
the way she did.
As a fandom, we did not expect her to do something like this. That would have been
terrorist.
She was a terrorist. Yeah, she bombs the temple.
The one Muslim-coded Jedi becomes a terrorist that bombs a temple.
If anything, they're just going along with George's example. Let's just keep coding everybody.
George did accents. Dave Filoni did genuine, yeah.
Don't forget Wadu's nose.
No, and not to go on a tangent, but just real quick, I couldn't stop laughing in the worst way whenever Watto said, what was the line? Only you probably remember. It was basically like, I'm only ran by money and only money, and it's just like the accent. I'm just like, oh my god,
waving your hand.
Can you be any more on the nose? I mean, come on, George, literally.
Right, seriously.
But anyways,
we're gonna make this guy.
Dave Filoni really is the predecessor to George Lucas. He really is.
I think attributed to malice what could equally be attributed to ignorance, my friends.
But
those poor guys don't know.
To the credit, as much as the coding was there, yes, and to the credit though, they did make her cause a righteous one, because the Jedi were having issues and they were doing things fucked up. So they made it a righteous one. It wasn't like she was just this, terrorist that was blowing people up.
But even still, like we've been waiting on the story to be wrapped up for maybe not 10 years at this point, but a good long while. I mean, close to 10 years. And we're just now getting the end of it, which even with the Bad Batch, it kind of helps tie the bow on this little Clone Wars era of things that we don't know and stories that we don't know how they ended. We're getting answers to that now, and I like that. So I really do like that they did this with Barris Offee. But back to Morgan Elsbeth in the first episode with the Path of Fear and everything. We see everything that happens on Dathomir, and we get to see General Grievous fucking shit up, for lack of a better word. I mean, he is very intimidating, I feel, in this episode, where he's like laughing and he's like run the whole time and everything, and like He takes out
He
Morgan's
also
mother.
Echoed Palpatine's line, kill them all.
Yeah, wipe them out, all of them, is what it was.
Hey, oh yeah, wipe them out. Shut up, bitch. I wasn't talking to you.
Yeah, no, he went pretty ham in that. But I will say one thing I liked about that episode too was going into the Mountain Clan stuff and seeing other witches of Dathomir exploring those origins, or not origins, those different, I guess, religious factions.
And that was
of
also
this
from the
planet.
original novelization, where the witches were first introduced into Star Wars. The
mountains of
was it Heir of the Empire when they were introduced?
I didn't even know they were in the Heir of the Empire. I don't think.
Oh
they
yeah,
were.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I don't think they were in that one, but it was. I forgot which book series it was. Now, someone in the chat remind me if you remember. But they were first introduced in one of those EU novelizations. Is when they were first introduced. And those the Mountain Clan, the ones that use the light side of the Force, which George would yell at us because there's no light side. It's just the Force and the dark side. Yeah. So their whole thing is that you see these Dathomirans who they're not just using the dark side of the Force; they're using the light side of the Force as well. And
Well,
so
and
that was pretty
I
cool
didn't
to
know
see.
if it was all light side use either. Like it just seemed like they were able to use the Force. And one thing I really did love about this episode was like the leader of this mountain clan. And at the end, she does that big like Force shield projection thing, kind of like Gandalf, and absorbs all the blaster fire and then repels it and destroys everything. I thought that was kind of badass because we don't see a lot of new Force powers, but we get to see it. And I think a very well done way where this is a different sect of the Force. They view it differently, and it has a little bit of evilness to it because it's witches, but these are, I guess, nicer with witches than the Night Sisters because she said that the Night Sister spells are broken. So I don't think that these are Night Sisters. I do think, though, they use that Dathomiri witch magic a little bit.
That's the one part I had an issue with. The one thing I love the Night Sisters to begin with is because they use the dark side of Force without being corrupted by the dark side of Force, which is a really cool concept that they do. But that whole thing about them making a big deal about the Night Sisters' magic being broken and the tattoos left from her face was literally just to explain why she didn't have tattoos on her face in Mandalorian and Ahsoka.
I figured.
And most likely it's because when they introduced her in Mandalorian, I don't think they had this idea yet. So that's why she didn't have them. So they use that as an excuse, even though all the other Night Sisters we'd seen in Jedi Fallen Order and other places still have the tattoos. So it was kind of a weird way to explain something.
I think with this one, it's because her mother is not Mother Talzin. You know, I think
maybe
it goes more to like, you know, if you're with Mother Talzin, you might have a different and deeper kind of witch connection. And then Mirren from the Jedi series and everything, I think she still has her tattoos, but I think she was also like one of the last Night Sisters on that planet, so maybe that's why her spells are still working. I don't fucking know. There's going to be some nerdy ass explanation for it, but when it comes to this episode, Path of Fear, you know, we get everything on Dathomir, we get General Grievous. Is this a thumbs up or a thumbs down of an episode for you guys?
I liked it. I liked the fierceness they showed out of Morgan Elsbeth and kind of a crucible, right? Like you could see how this event forged her and basically led her down the path, which is the name of all these, to where she ended up. This was that defining moment that sent her on the way. And I also enjoyed the dichotomy they were having where she was arguing with the Mountain Clan, where she felt that the path of vengeance was important, and they were more like kind of like the Jedi. You know, they didn't say it this way, but the Force will watch out for us. We don't need to fight. You know, and her path to wanting to do that got one of them killed, and you know, and the leader of the Mountain Clan saying that whole just because we're pacifists doesn't mean we don't have power or can't.
Yeah,
fight,
she said just because someone doesn't want to fight doesn't mean they can't, and everything. It was a very powerful line. I think very good.
And even with that, she was still like, okay, well, and she the line she says too, you have already chosen your path. And so she realized, okay, I got to go. I really like those sickles. Those sickles were cool. It just World of Warcraft, completely World of Warcraft throwbacks to me, the way they glowed with the green energy and everything. It was really cool. So, I mean, I did enjoy that episode quite a bit. Big thumbs up for that first one.
Top memes, thumbs up or thumbs down on the Path of Fear?
Yeah, thumbs up. It's my favorite of the Morgan episodes. I mean, Lunga said a lot of it pretty much that I was gonna say. I like the fierceness. The cinematography was great. The sickles were cool. First time seeing Grievous fight with his cape, which is I know I'm a Grievous fan. It's just neat to see. But yeah, no, I liked it. I didn't really have any issues with it. It was a cool episode. Good. It was a much better start than seeing. I'm not gonna go on a rant, but it's a much better start than seeing baby Ahsoka's birth. Okay, I'll say that. There you go.
Are you
That's
telling
my
me you
thoughts.
wouldn't like to see a baby Morgan Elsbeth episode?
Doom and gloom. I'm just being real here, man. I'm just being
I
real.
I do have one negative, and unfortunately has to do with Grievous. Not because they did him bad or anything, but it's like, did you just copy and paste his moveset from the movie and just use it all over again? It was just the same thing again.
Probably saved him
that
some
good
time
old
and
trick
thinking.
of his third
Except he
arm
won
that
this
you never
time.
knew about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
They
do think
always
that was
use
cool,
secret
though. I thought that
arms.
was good. Yeah.
No, it's
But
cool.
it was the exact
it's
same
been done a lot.
thing.
It's been done a lot.
Yeah,
What
they
else is
do
the
a
man
lot.
gonna do? It's the ultimate power move. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, I guess.
the ultimate
Just because-
combo.
Well, I guess you could
Kenobi knows
say
he has 4 arms,
they
so he
showed
must
why
be
he's
safe.
so confident in it because it works so well.
It works every
Until-
time.
until he meets Obi-Wan, then it doesn't work so well.
Yeah, the second he meets somebody who's like, "Hey, by the way, I know you have 4 arms," Grievous is like, "Oh, I'm not fighting this. I mean, that's my one trick. That's my one play." No, I give this a big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. I like the message to it. I like how Morgan is at a disagreement with the Mountain Clans and everything. I like the action in it, the fear. Oh, one of my favorite scenes, funny enough, is when the droid. Palpatine, you'll know the because they're in the
BX Commando Droid.
yeah, the commando droids from the Clone Wars and
I
the
love those.
Battlefront. I love that scene where he's looking for her and he can't find her. And it's so funny because I played Battlefront, I was like, can't he see her heat because of the vision thing that? And then the second I start thinking that, he looks up and starts shooting at her. Like for an animated show, one little spin-off thing, like out of a lot of Star Wars shows, that had a lot of tension in that scene. Where even upon the second watch of it, I really enjoyed that.
I like how intimidating it made the droid army. I mean, I genuinely was like, holy crap, these guys are scary. Because, like, again, watching Phantom Menace, it all comes full circle. Like, the droids they're fine, but they're kind of silly. They're kind of, I mean, they're done. They're done.
That's because
they're
George
little
said,
robots.
a Jedi could cut them down like butter. I mean,
Which is fine for Jedi, because Jedi should be. But when it comes to, like, common people, I know Night Sisters and them, they're not common, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people that aren't Jedi.
I mean, they were supposed
I
to
like
be.
that.
They were the height of technology and warfare at the time. That's the whole point of
Yeah.
them. They were.
No one had
And
a
those
droid
B2
army like
battle droids, I mean, those were cool. That one
Oh,
where
yeah.
the bowcaster or the bow
Super
shot it like
battle
15
droid.
times and it just kept walking towards it. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a very good episode. So 3 thumbs up from all of us. The next one is the Path of Anger, and this one is my personal favorite out of the bunch. Morgan is approached by a potential powerful ally. Is a description for this episode, and we all know it to be Thrawn. And this one is where she's the magistrate, right? The same thing Grief Karga had on that one planet. So she's running this planet that we eventually see Mando visit in season 2 of The Mandalorian. In this episode, I feel like there was a lot more controversy around because of the beginning alone. And this is something I think me and Lunga will definitely have some words because I don't know how he feels about it. But I mean, maybe if Golden was here, because he's a big Rebels fan, he could also explain the situation about the TIE Defender project. Saw some controversy where people were saying, oh, so Morgan Elsbeth invented this thing now. And I didn't really think of that when I saw this episode, but then I thought back to the books about Thrawn and then Star Wars Rebels, and it felt like, mind you, I haven't seen Rebels in years, it felt like Thrawn was the main guy behind this TIE Defender project. Go ahead, Lunga. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay. Remember,
I remember.
first of all, I want to say they did my boy right in this episode. Why
That's for sure.
can't? How can they do him so good in this episode, and then Ahsoka, they make him, and in Clone Wars even they. Anyway, if you think about Thrawn and you think about what he does, specifically in this episode, is literally what he did in all the books. Is he finds the best minds to bring together to do what he needs, because he's not an engineer. Right? He's a military leader. He's not an engineer. He can understand it. Give him time. He can figure it out. but he's not an engineer. He needs to bring in people in the fold to do this. And in the books, they never explicitly states who designed them, just that he was championing and spearheading this program because he felt and they don't explain it here because they're going to ignore everything about the Chiss here apparently, but it's because the Chiss were their navy was so powerful, and it depended on light, fast battleships in combination with a strong complement of fighters. And the TIE, and I love how she called it the twin ion engine. She didn't call it a TIE fighter. She said the twin and ion engines when she was explaining it. That it's not being utilized fully, right? And there's no shields and this and that, which is the biggest flaw. Which they've done it, because the ship was introduced in the video games. Was it Battlefront or which video game was it? It was introduced in the video game first.
It was classic. No, that must have been a mod.
It was introduced. It was introduced in the video game, and mainly because in the video game you needed something with shields if you were playing the Empire, because the X-Wings had shields. It's like it was an imbalance, right? So they never explicitly state who designed them. So they're giving us a tie-in on why she's with them and who designed them, and it worked out well. I don't see any problem with that. Because it goes right along with Thrawn finding the best. Because remember how he kept cherry picking all these different. He was taking all these different people. His assistant who came with him the whole way, and then the Krennic's assistant director that he brought with him. So he takes all these great minds to do what he needs. And the fact that they talked about it so much. I mean, they did talk about it in Rebels. It was a big deal in Rebels with the factory and everything. But that's the one thing about Thrawn they have tied together now, from the books to Rebels to this, was him with that TIE Defender. And it's a big deal, and I thought they did it really well. So I don't see a problem with that.
I can pretty much agree, because I didn't feel like insulted or anything that he wasn't the inventor of it. I didn't know that there was like controversy around it until I, of course, saw it online and everything. But I thought the way they did that was, fine. It makes sense on why he took an interest in Morgan Elsbeth and everything. The way they did, what's his name, Rook? Is that it? The assassin guy that works for Thrawn?
Which I was glad to see him too. That was cool to see Rook, because he was a big deal in the earlier books.
Oh, people loved him in the EU, and so it was cool that they brought him back in Rebels alone. But then they bring him back in this and use him in a very smart way of testing Morgan's martial arts ability just to meet Thrawn, and him planning things with her and seeing the shortcomings of the Empire. And like Lunga said, I really did like the way they did Thrawn. I think the blue that he had was nice, and the way he's not a political person at all. That's always been his big flaw, but he is a master strategist and a master military mind. So it lined so well with his character that he would go to someone like Morgan Elsbeth, who is kind of outside the Empire purview. She's really on her own. She's a magistrate of her own little colony or whatever, and she's got other worlds that she's running and her own enemies that are outside of the Empire, apparently. It makes sense that he would go for an ally like this.
The mastermind, he talked about how, because remember, this is supposed to be really early on, before the rebels were on anybody's radar, right? This is like
they were a growing problem, but very small, clearly.
It's like way before Andor, even. This is when they were just still trying, like they were nothing. They were just little annoyances, right? But Thrawn, he's like, those little problems are the ones that become big problems later. And he was the only one who was noticing it, and which kind of ties into Rebels, because he was the only one that was kind of taking it seriously when no one else really was. But they just did him so well. They made him so smart, so intuitive, so 10 moves ahead, just in that little scene. And I was fawning over it, swooning.
You liked his writing better than his writing in the Ahsoka show, I presume.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing too, is that this was not all written by Dave Filoni. The story was written by Dave Filoni, but some of these episodes were written by other people and directed by other people. Dave Filoni was the executive producer, the story writer, and the supervising director, but he was not like the story writer or the, what do they call it? It's like a teleplay script or something like that. Whenever they do shows, he didn't do the full adaptation from story to screen, and he also didn't direct every single episode, if all of them. So it's a bunch of people working on this, and I think they did a very good job, like Longo was saying earlier, with the dialogue and everything in this. And even with Thrawn, I like that we see him work with Morgan Elsbeth so early on because we know she becomes a huge pawn for him years and years and years later, way after everything with the Empire, after Rebels, after the original trilogy and everything. He's out in this distant galaxy, and the only reason he can get back is because of the Night Sister magic and Morgan Elsbeth. I think this episode did a great job of tying all this together. Palpines, you got anything you want to say on this episode before we
You
close it
guys
out?
always take all the talking points away from me. That's okay. I mean,
It's
we
the
all
only,
know
the
that,
only
like-
time you don't interrupt.
Sorry,
is
it's a
if
Thrawn
good.
thing, and
No,
it
I
involved
know,
the
and that's
books,
why I'm
and
just
you
like,
haven't read the
hey,
books.
It's become very apparent. Like
Thrawn
these
is a
type of shows
boy.
and stuff aren't my bread and butter, and that's okay. And these stories, for instance, aren't things that I'm like super passionate about. That's okay. I mean, yeah, no, this is my second favorite of the Elsbeth episodes, which would leave the third episode, which we'll get to, being my least favorite. I still didn't dislike it, but no, this episode, it was cool. I like Thrawn. I'm not the mastermind of Thrawn like Lunga is, so I can't really compare him to like the books or anything like that. But how it was cool seeing the TIE defenders and stuff. I like, that's a neat idea to show that. It was enjoyable.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? I'm going to give this one a thumbs up.
Yeah, it was fine. It was enjoyable.
Thumbs up by Palpines. Lunga, thumbs up, thumbs down. I feel like you're going to give it a thumbs up. All right,
Yeah.
3 for 3, 2 in a row. That's a
Is
rarity.
this, is Chatooine turning into Tide? Is this a new
Are we
page?
becoming happier people?
Oh,
Is
here we
this
go. This is
growth?
how old the TIE defenders are. 1994.
Wow.
Star Wars TIE Fighter by LucasArts game.
Oh, that is
shit.
it. Yeah, that's right.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
I didn't know which
24
game
when
it
that came
was,
out.
Were they
but
in
I knew it was from a
Battlefront
game.
2?
But that was old. Yeah, it's been around for a
Yeah,
long ass time.
I remember that game. I remember playing that.
I think
when
they were
it
in
came out.
Battlefront.
Yeah, I
You remember? I remember.
Yeah, remember Alex? Oh, I remember. Remember
It's two. It worked out fine.
Well, and what works so well with those is that they always talk about Star Wars. Remember AT-ATs? Remember TIE Fighters?
Yeah.
Remember Jabba?
Chewbacca?
Oh, I love Jabba. I love Chewbacca. It's a beautiful fucking show. So we're two on a thumbs up right now. That's 2 episodes in a row, and I got to start off with this next one. It's called Path
I do
of
have
Hate.
one. Sorry to go back to that episode real quick, but there is one criticism. Not that she can't, but how did she go from being on Dathomir and being a warrior, basically, to, and maybe this is the issue people had with her inventing it. We had nothing to show us that she went from that to being a master engineer and being able to engineer a ship. So I
Yeah, that's
think
true.
that's the issue. It's the lack of context, right? How does she get from here to here? That's a big jump of creating it.
Yeah, that is a big.
So I think maybe that's it.
Time.
Her Thrawn not doing it is not a big deal because, like I said, he's an admiral. He's not a fucking engineer. He doesn't design ships. That's not what he does. He gets people to do that. But yeah,
The
Right.
TIE
Yes,
Defender
you can go
was
on
in
next.
the Star Wars Elite Battlefront Elite Squadron and Renegade Squadron. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. I knew it was in a
Like
Battlefront game.
yes, or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. So episode 3 of Tales of the Empire: The Path of Hate. The description is: offered the chance to stand trial for her crimes, Morgan instead seeks her destiny. I'll start this off by saying I don't really have a lot to say about this episode. Out of all the Tales of the Empire episodes, this is the one I was not a big fan of. I couldn't even really remember enough of it to tell you much about it, other than that everybody in the camp says she's bad. New Republic people show up, kills all of them, and she's still bad, and the people are upset and are just content with her being a ruler or whatever. I just found it to be like Lunga just said about the context with her between, going from Night Sister to a member of like the Empire, or pitching this little design stuff to the Empire, and now she's like an engineer. Something covering that would have been interesting. Something covering her fall as a Night Sister, covering her deal with Thrawn and the first time we meet, stuff like that. I think makes sense for her character. It fills in some of these gaps. Her just being a bad ruler, and that's why the people don't like her, and she kills people from the Republic. I personally was not a fan of that story choice for this episode, especially after what they did with the first 2 episodes. I just felt like the way they were beat by beat going with the story, this one just kind of threw me off a little bit. But maybe that's me. I did not like this episode. Did you guys like it? What was your take on this one, Lunga?
yeah, it was definitely the weakest of the 3. for Morgan Elsbeth. And mainly because I think they were just it was them trying to tie in. It was to bridge what we saw here and what we saw in The Mandalorian. Okay, not even Ahsoka, because Ahsoka goes into a whole nother thing with her. But just say The Mandalorian. You know how we got from there to her in The Mandalorian, and why Thrawn and why all that other stuff. So it was a bridging episode for that. The pacing was very slow. Particularly, I know one of the reasons most likely you didn't enjoy it only is because it introduced again the New Republic, who is just every time we see them.
I hated that. It made me cringe.
Every time we see them,
sided with them. I'm like, okay, I see it more than
every
ever.
time we see them. It's like, and they even show it.
Agree with it.
They even showed again that the woman that was coming back from the New Republic was someone from that planet who left, who they basically said, you just left because you were lazy and you didn't want to fucking work. You thought it was beneath you. And she couldn't say no.
Yep.
She couldn't say no. It's like, you're right. My job, I'm better suited as a bureaucrat. That's basically what she said.
Loves to give you nobody to root for. They're like, the good guys, the Jedi, they're awful. The good guys in the Republic, they're awful too. Everybody is awful. I
don't agree with you or how everybody in New Republic's awful, because in Andor we see not everybody is, but they highlight the ones that are so much.
Did you say Andor?
Oh no. See, I didn't mean Andor. Sorry, I meant Mandor. Yeah, Ahsoka. The Ahsoka and Mando.
I was like,
not Andor. No, not Andor. Yeah, no.
Competent in Ahsoka.
Yeah, Ahsoka and Ahsoka and a little bit of the Mandalorian. Yeah, Ahsoka mostly. But not everyone is. There's some good. But again, the point I'm making is they highlight the bad ones so much that it looks like everybody's incompetent and everyone's an idiot. And this woman that they brought there seemed like it. And it's again, it's not the fault of the character. It's just how they fucking wrote her. You literally, I mean, if you want us to cheer for the bad guys, you succeeded, because that's what you made us do, is because I felt Morgan just treated your ass. Okay. It was Drake and Kendrick all over the place, and she just stomped on her. Okay.
She burned her to a crisp and then shot her.
And stomped on her before the hostilities started. She stomped her. Yeah. Okay. I mean, she stomped her verbally before it even got to the hostilities. So it was kind of weak in that aspect. And I think the main thing they're trying to show us is the Asian guy that's like her little sidekick, who was her sidekick in Mando.
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to show how he was fighting this whole thing but didn't know what to do. And then in Mando we see he takes over. He becomes magistrate after they kill Morgan.
I think it was a neat connection. Yeah.
It's a neat little connection, but I think it felt like you did all this episode to more connect that than to really tie up what we were doing with Morgan. You know what I mean? And from, again, everything we know about Thrawn, I know, Empire evil. I get it. Empire evil, blah, blah, blah. And this is supposed to be, the path of hate is the name of the episode. And it's like, but I don't see, other than the hatred the people have for her, I don't see any extra hate from her. The whole thing about Thrawn is he literally says it in episode 2, and it was the first time he'd done it in a while, which I'm so glad. He talks about how we want these TIE defenders because it limits the loss of life. And the more time you throw our pilots out there and don't care about their lives, it's going to hurt the Empire. So he's showing how he cares for the sanctity of life. You know what I mean? And now you go to this, and it's like, okay, so is the planet that bad? Okay, it looks dirtier. So what? They become industrialized, and I mean, I don't necessarily see them under whips and chains. Okay, there's jobs. Isn't that what they say they wanted? There's jobs. Maybe it's not the best working conditions. I guess you can form a union, bitch about that. But I don't.
They called it the path of hate, is so you would hate it when you watch it.
Yeah, it didn't tie it up. I didn't see her hate grow. I saw her just doing what she's been doing, and the people hating her because she brought the Empire. But it's just like, just those words, brought the Empire, is the reason you're supposed to hate it. But it's not. It's Thrawn's. It's his legion. It's the seventh fleet, right? That's there, and they actually don't treat people as badly as the rest of the Empire does. I know that sounds horrible. That sounds like not all slave masters were bad, This is not a good thing to say, but and yes, Exalt, in this vignette, they didn't close it out good enough. They could have did better. It seemed like a not as well placed episode. It seemed like they kind of called this one in.
Yeah, like they didn't really know what the third one was supposed to be about.
Right.
Palp Memes, what do you think about the Path of Hate?
Yeah, I like the connections with it. I like the members. Yeah, I didn't think it was horrible. It wasn't Tales of the Jedi episode 1, which is where the low bar is set for me. But it was definitely the weakest of the three for the Morgan, 100%. I do agree. It was kind of like they were like, okay, we need to wrap this story up, but they can't do. I don't know. They don't have the time in terms of for this vignette to do so. So it's felt kind of just meshed together. And yeah, I mean, I've always agreed with the New Republic how frustrating it is, but I think this is the first time it was so frustrating where it was like, okay, I understand incompetent leaders and stuff, but this was just like, that was just horrifying. I mean, that was like, how on earth do you even have some ranking in this
I have my guards. I have my 4 guys with me while she runs the entire planet.
I'd use another word, but I'm not allowed to use it anymore. So
yeah,
whatever. But jeez, people.
I will admit, what killed me is when she blocked the blaster bolts with her staff. Because even I was like, all right, bro, like
she's not a Jedi. I was kind of like, you're not a Jedi.
But not like that. Like even as a Jedi,
mean, it is a Beskar. It's a Beskar staff.
Yeah, I get that. But you would imagine with that impact, law of inertia.
She is a Night Sister. She was trained in battle. She does know how to fight.
Force that staff would absorb right there, I feel like would have knocked her back or something. And it's not.
That's the whole point of Beskar. Beskar absorbs it. It doesn't just block it. It absorbs.
We see when Din Djarin gets hit by blasters, he flings back. Yeah.
There's a bunch of times you see him standing there and he's just kind of like this when he's getting shot. It's got to be something big.
Maybe it's very inconsistent. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's
but it kind of plays like Captain America's vibranium shield, right? It absorbs some of the impact of stuff.
But it also absorbs the heat, so completely cooling. And
to be fair, we've never seen blaster bolts like knock someone across the screen. They kind of get hit and slump over.
I know, but I'm saying that.
Kind of, but Chewie's blaster in Force Awakens.
That's different. I know. They talked about his. It's a souped up. It's like a sawed-off shotgun.
The New Republic should be using those. Then they're lasers. They're still stupid. They should be modified.
I think it's a modified weapon.
It's probably using illegal parts.
Yeah.
Joe Biden needs to enforce some more blaster.
Oh, here we go.
All right, restrict some more. Here we go. I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead. All right.
Yeah. So thumbs up or thumbs down on the Path of Hate? I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. No, it's one or the other. You don't get the. You're not
like me.
It's tilted in the middle. Tilted towards the down.
Okay, so 3 thumbs down.
We didn't like it. It wasn't that good.
This isn't 2.5 men or 2.5 thumbs. All right, this is 3 thumbs down. We have been in complete unison on every episode so far, which is a miracle by God for Chatooine standards.
I wish I had 4 hands so I get them titties. 4 thumbs down.
I bet people were expecting me to come in this episode and be like, all right, Palpatine's gonna hate every fucking second of this show. No, I told you guys I will watch things with an open mind. Okay.
I just hope you give us
except that Mando movie. I was
just about to bring that up.
I'm rooting for that movie to fail just so I can say I was right.
I literally was just about to say, except for the Mando movie. You're not
yeah. Well, we've got a fake bet on the line.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this to you, Palpa Memes, and you guys out there. Let me know if you want to see this because I was talking to Only today, and I told him I'm going to do this because I know this is a little bit of a digression, but you brought up the Mando movie. I think I'm going to take. I'm going to be a Roman reporter in the streets. I'm going to bring a Chatooine mic with me, and I'm going to go out into the city of Chicago. I'm going to ask people, "Do you know the Mandalorian?" and ask them how excited they are about a Mandalorian movie. I'm going to go out and talk to the peoples and ask them, not Twitter. Not the hardcore fan base. I'm going to go out to the peoples, be the Star Wars people's champion, and I'm going to ask them myself.
I will go ahead. I would love for you to do that. I would bet there is a large portion of people who would be like, I know the Mandalorian, but they didn't know there was a movie coming out.
Yeah, they'll say that. I will bring that with me, and I guarantee you that, oh, it's Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
And then I'll bring up the movie.
Punch it in the face or take it and
Doesn't
punch
matter.
it like a football
Doesn't
across
matter.
the field.
I'll say,
Fuck
would
that
you like to
little
see a
bitch.
movie? Would you like to see a movie with him in it? Yes! General audiences buying tons of tickets. $1 billion
Grogu
movie.
should have died in Mandalorian season 3.
I think we should do that. I think Lunga does this in Chicago. I'll do this in Orlando with like a hat, some glasses, so y'all don't know who the fuck I am. And we'll do some public. Chatooine will be going.
I'll do it in
global,
Tulsa,
people.
and then someone will say, "Yeah, I'm very excited," and I'll be like, "But why? What is there to be excited for exactly?"
Yeah, no,
And
you
it's
don't
full
get
on.
to. We know
It'd be
you're
like,
You're
the
going to ask
change
in
my mind
Tulsa.
thing.
They're going to say, there's a presidential election coming up, and the fate of the country is at stake right now.
Yeah,
we
no,
can't be
Tul-
talking about no damn Star Wars.
Hold on, Lunga. I don't know what I can understand what side you're talking about. Tulsa is very liberal. They are the only blue city in the entirety of Oklahoma.
Because it's correct me if I'm wrong. It's because it's the biggest city in the state.
Probably
Is it
the
not the
only-
biggest city in the
I think
state?
OKC is bigger. I think Oklahoma City is bigger. I could be wrong though. It could be neck and neck.
I don't know.
I should know this. I
Isn't
live here.
OKC the capital? Or is Tulsa the
Well,
capital?
you're talking
Yeah.
about a
OKC is the
population
capital.
of 15
Right.
people versus a population of 17 people.
Oh,
okay?
get out of here.
Nobody lives here. All right, these aren't real cities. No one's
I
ever
live
been to
here.
these
I
places.
remember Oklahoma very well. I hate it
all
here. I
see
want to
is-
fucking
all I
leave.
see is wood, sir.
Oh,
All I see
I'm
is-
coming to
Oklahoma.
move with Star Wars only in Florida.
Yeah, I've been telling them to come on down. And
You told me
know,
you're like, I got
waiting.
that bedroom.
Oh
I
yeah,
got an
yeah.
extra
OKC
spare.
by a large margin. OKC
I thought
OKC
so.
is 620 million and Tulsa is 200 million.
Well, there you fucking go. All right, well, let's wrap up this Morgan Elsbeth discussion. But we've gotten 3 episodes with her. Do you guys think this Tales of the Jedi arc, or my bad, Tales of the Empire arc, did her justice after seeing her in Ahsoka in Mando season 2 and everything? Are you happy with the way they did her story in this series? Don't everybody speak at once.
It
I was gonna
fine.
let Palpatine go first this time
No,
because
I'll say. It was fine for what it was. I actually didn't expect to enjoy the episodes. I said in the trailer reaction, I was like, this is what I'm least excited for. But so maybe my expectations, because they were low, it was like easier for me to be pleased. I don't know. I enjoyed it overall, but the 3rd episode definitely was a letdown for the most part.
Would you give it a
yeah,
thumbs
no,
up or thumbs down?
oh okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're
Boom,
2 for
top
3.
of it.
I think that's a success to me. I think it was, and the 3rd episode wasn't even garbage. It was just didn't live up.
Yeah, and then that's where I'm at. I mean, I think overall the 3 episode vignette arc, if you will, did its job. And with the 2 episodes being as good as they were, it did it well. While the 3rd episode was a little bit of a snoozer. It was more, like I said, it was along the lines of, okay, we got to tie this into where we see her last, and she's here, and what really happened. And the answer is nothing really happened. So they had to kind of make something up for it. But other than that, I don't think that killed the whole story for me enough. It did what it needed to do, and it gave me a little more context into Morgan Elsbeth and made her a more 3-dimensional character.
Yeah, I really like how we have expanded on this character and how she's kind of loved by the Star Wars community in a unique way for like a villain. And honestly, this may sound out of left field, but like for a female Star Wars character in the new Star Wars canon and everything, no controversy around her. You know, this is a very good arc of her in this animated series. She was very interesting in Mando season 2, and she did a great job in the Ahsoka series to be able to be a interesting and kind of cool villain.
Yep.
Alongside Baylan Skoll is very impressive. So I'm very
Shout
happy
out
that's expanded
to
story.
Diana Lee and Osanto.
Shout out to my girl. All right, no hate over here, even though this was the path of hate by Morgan Elsbeth. So let's move on to homegirl Barris, Offee, Barris, Offee.
Barris Hottie.
I
is
believe
what we're gonna call
it's
her.
Barris Offee, I believe is the correct pronunciation.
It's Offee, I think. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
that.
Offee?
Barris Offee.
Offee.
Not
it's
coffee.
Barris.
Not coffee. Offee.
Ah, I like coffee. So episode 4 of Tales of the Empire is called Devoted, and the description for that is former Jedi Barris Offee is recruited by the Empire. To start this out, I have to say, I fucking loved what they did in these 3 episodes. And when I think about all three of them, even this first one, there's not anything I have to say about it that is remotely negative. I like how they immediately start out in the middle of the temple being attacked. It's Order 66, and you have the Inquisitor Lynn walking in, and Barris has to go through these trials and tribulations and everything to become part of the Inquisitorius, and doesn't really seem to want to, which is something I found unique because I really felt like after we had last seen her, oh, this girl is kind of evil, kind of like a dark side acolyte at this point, where she doesn't care about anything about the light side. But you see in this episode glimpses of her still holding that connection, and the way they trained her, the way they had her fight at the end, the other guy who survived it to that point, and they did everything at this what's that fortress called? The planet that they're on,
The Inquisitorium.
the Inquisitorium on that planet that Kenobi went to, and it's in the Fallen Order thing. The fact that
Yeah,
they keep
seeing it
building on this
getting
thing,
built.
yeah, I love it. I love
Fortress
how-
Inquisitorium, I believe it is, right?
Inquisitorius,
that.
I thought. Yeah.
Inquisitorius.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a very cool
Yes,
location.
Fortress
and setting.
Inquisitorius.
Fortress Inquisitorius. It's not a tongue twister at all. Thank you, Lucasfilm.
Very Latin.
but-
Very Latin.
Yes, and that's what we're known for here in the Star Wars. Isn't Roman numerals that we use for the numbering?
Yep.
But, what do I
Yep.
know? Anywho, I thought this episode was a banger. I thought it was amazing. I liked everything about it. And I think Barris, as like a lead character in her little arc of the series, did a great job. She didn't have a lot of episodes in the Clone Wars where she was like the lead character. She was always doing it with Ahsoka right by her as the lead character. But for this, her taking it on her own and everything, I thought it was done great. And I thought this episode, her being recruited, was amazing. The training and everything. It's stuff it was the stuff I was kind of wanting from the Dooku arc, honestly, but in a different way, I guess. And then seeing the end where it's her, it's Lynn, it's Merrick from the Ahsoka series, and then that one Inquisitor that Ahsoka killed in Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah. Well,
And
was it
then
Merrick?
Darth Vader walks in. Yeah, I think it was Merrick. I'm confident it was Merrick from Ahsoka. I saw his mask and everything like that. He was standing right next to the guy from the Tales.
There was a
of the
few that looked
Jedi.
pretty similar, but yeah, but I did definitely recognize the one from Ahsoka, the one that she killed in
Yeah.
Tales
So
of the Jedi.
it was two guys and two girls, and so I assumed at the end of the episode that Barris was the only other person that was joining, but I think all four of those people were kind of joining at the exact same time, really. But I don't know how the inner workings of the Inquisitorious shit. But anywho, great episode. I loved Vader at the end, the way he looked, the way it felt, and her realization that this is something bigger than she even imagined. It was beautifully done. So that's my 2 cents. Lunga, also tell the audience how good this episode was.
Yeah, no, I believe it. It's banger. It was banger. I liked, and you see the, and with this episode and the next two afterwards, you see that she never embraced the dark side. That never happened. And it's because she's a complicated character, right? You saw her, speaking truth to power and also using action against power, with her disenfranchisement with the Jedi Order. But you also see how she was trying to rationalize that with what she's being put into now. And it almost feels like this, at the moment in this first episode, she feels like, okay, well, I guess this is the logical conclusion of what I felt of the Jedi Order, but something doesn't feel right about it yet. But I guess I have to figure it out. So she was still pretty young at that point too. So I liked how they did that. I liked how they put her in that position to kill or be killed. And it was with her one friend who obviously was like, fuck you, I'm not dying. I'm winning. And she waited for the last possible moment when there was no way out, which is a very Jedi thing to do, if you think about it, even though she was, kind of being recruited for this. So I loved how they displayed that to us. I do also like that they're giving us reasons why there's Inquisitors that you see and don't see, because apparently they've been replaced multiple times over the 20 years of the Empire, that these were the first early ones. And they've been replaced. There's been different ones that have come in and out, as some come and go. So that was really a cool deal. She didn't seem to like putting on the mask very much. I liked Lynn seeming to be like she drank the Kool-Aid, but it was like, it didn't seem like Lynn believed it as much as I have to believe this.
She was a little complicated as a character too. It was very nice.
Right. And speaking of the complications again with Barris, you see her kind of, you see that the action she did against the Jedi was about affecting change, right? And not control, which I think she slowly starts to see in this, just already in this episode, and what she sees as it goes on, that the Empire is about control, not about change for the better. She was trying to affect change for the better with what she did. And in the same way, she saw that she was trying to affect change against a Jedi Order that she felt was too dogmatic and didn't care about people, to going to another system that was trying to control people and not really cared about people. So she's realizing, shit, both sides kind of suck right now. I can't, which one I was, and then it plays out through the next two episodes. And as far as Vader, I kind of like that. I through that mask, I believe I saw a glimmer of recognition that he Anakin recognized Barris, or knew who she was, especially because her actions is what who made his Padawan leave the Jedi Order.
He's saying he sat down and went, "That bitch." That's her.
You work for me now.
Yeah. You don't think I remember? I remember you.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh man. So Palpatine, what did you think about this episode, the first episode in the Barris arc?
It was good for what it showed. I really liked it. I mean, you guys said it was a banger. I think it was a banger too. It was cool. I think maybe I just like dark side stuff more than anything, or maybe they're just doing dark side stuff better. But yeah, it was really cool. I really like, during the battle, the fight for survival thing. What did you guys say? She waited to the last very moment to, unfortunately kill her friend. Whereas Lynn waited till the very last moment to save Barris at the end, but it was too late. And I thought that was, I don't know. I just think I don't know if that was purposely done. I doubt it was, but it's just a cool little thing I picked up on. You guys said before, and I'll say it again. And I've said this about Dave Filoni's work for a long time now. The cinematography in this episode, but the other two as well, the visuals were they're striking. They look really, really good. There's this one shot of Vader. If I remember correctly, it's in this episode where it's a side shot of his face, and it reminds me of a shot from, I think it was the Starkiller games. If I recall correctly, where he's thinking about Padme or something like that. Maybe it was something else. I thought that side shot of Vader looked really, really good.
Could it have been the Clone Wars finale?
No, because this is a wall
when he was on
the
snow planet
ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, years ago. But anyways, no, it was cool. I like to see the Grand Inquisitor competent. In which what I'm referring to is his incompetence in a beautiful show called Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, it was
beautiful.
Nice to
you
see
say
it happened. It existed. I'm sorry, Lunga. I know you like that show.
Again, when I say just to temper it, when I say like it, I didn't say it was the greatest thing ever created by Star Wars.
Right.
It was okay. I enjoyed it. It was
Thumbs up for me on this
lots of
episode,
stuff,
100%.
lots of stuff better than Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I like episode 9. Never. Maybe I did before. I won't ever call it a good
Obi-Wan
movie.
Kenobi was better than episode 9.
It didn't destroy as many things.
I don't know. I mean, that's
wow. I'm surprised.
topic
Only
for,
it's
topic
conflicted
for
by
another
that.
day. I don't like to think about either.
That would be an interesting Chatooine topic.
Don't give me that shit, Omi. Don't give me that shit.
We're not going to go on this tangent. Thumbs up or thumbs down on Devoted episode 4 for Tales of the Empire. Thumbs up for me as well. All right, all 3 thumbs up. Episode 5 is Realization, and the description is on a mission to hunt the fugitive. Complications change. Barris forever. I'll start this one out as well, man. Oh my god, this one above all of them. The animation when they go to this planet, it felt like a different show almost. Like I don't know what was so specific.
I agree.
About this.
Yeah, especially the lightsaber fights.
Well, yeah, this one did have a lightsaber fight at the end too, and that was also very, very gorgeous and beautiful. But this episode had such a touching moment, and then it got so dark. I mean, dark. Where even I'm used to dark shows and everything like that. I was like holding my mouth open at the end because I was like, oh my god, like I can't believe that girl just did that. She just killed everybody in that room. I mean,
very Anakin and Temple.
yeah. But
She must
but
hate sand as well.
You see it. You see her. It'd be like if they did the Anakin scene, but then you just hear the screams of the kids by just having a shot
and
on
then
the
Barris
door the whole time.
hides the kid's
Yeah,
face.
she hides the little kid, and then he tries to
yeah.
look back, and she uses her helmet to block it off, and they discuss it too, And then there's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I mean, I have to say the directing in this episode and the writing was probably my favorite because even when she looks back at Barris, there's a hint of this fear of like, oh, is she gonna attack Barris and kill this kid as well? And she uses the Force, and you think, oh, this is it, they're gonna fight, and it's over. She just moves the thing and keeps going and is done with it. Like it's almost like she lets the kid live because Barris has an attachment to him and she knows that would be an issue, but also because the kid told them where the Jedi was in the mountains and everything like that. So that part alone, the first scene of this episode was very beautiful. And then like Palpatine was saying with the lightsaber fight at the end and everything was very, very gorgeous, very gorgeous. And I like how they kept talking or Barris kept talking to the Jedi and telling this Jedi, like, yo, you don't have to keep fighting. I know you're tired and everything like that. Like, it seems like she wanted to help this Jedi live and maybe even join the Inquisitorius or whatever and just turn themselves in. And then Lynn ends up killing them. And then Barris ends up like pushing Lynn off a fucking cliff and is like, no, I am a Jedi. Absolutely. We said the last one was a banger. This is a banger with a capital B. All right. This was an amazing episode. Lunga, yet again, tell them how good this is.
I feel like Palpatine's in this one. It's like you hit everything that I could have possibly have said. But yeah, the slaughter in the village. After they got after they got the information they wanted, that Barris went and got the information from the kid. So like, okay, we don't have to do anything here. We got what we needed, and she did it. Lynn did it just to make a point. To show the strength of the Empire. If you don't cooperate with the Empire, this is what happens to you. We have to show them fear, right?
So you're talking about the dialogue earlier. The dialogue was really good.
Oh
in this episode.
Yeah. The dialogue was great. She's like, we have to show them this fear. I also started to realize in this episode, and as the episode continued on, that there was a connection that with Lynn and Barris. That her being an Inquisitor wasn't the most important thing. She really seemed to care about Barris and was frustrated that Barris wasn't understanding what she thought they needed to do. It was almost
like they were sisters in a way where it's like, yo, you don't see what I see here,
right.
Very nice.
Right. People are probably going to hate this. I think it was probably something a little deeper than sisters, to be honest with you. I think that's what they were going at.
No.
Are they going to become woke?
Yeah.
No. I'm tired of this
that's
woke wars nonsense.
But they started they loved seeing doing a lot of mirroring lines, right? Because with that Jedi, she's like, I won't let you die. And they use that again in the third episode, which we'll get to. But yeah. And we see, like, when you think about the Inquisitors and you think about these knights, if you want to call them that, trained by Vader to eradicate Jedi. Any other show or any other thing we would have seen with Inquisitors, if one of the Inquisitors did what Barris did, the other Inquisitor would have killed him on the spot. And Lynn didn't seem up to doing that. You know what I mean? So I like that, and it deepens it for as we get into the third episode. So it was a really good progression, and like Palmy said, the cinematography, just and shot selection, scene selection is just incredible. The dialogue was incredible, and this is the examples I give, like when we were talking about the other stuff that we've watched, where Bad Batch. They made me care. I've never seen Lynn before this, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is,
I don't think so.
Barris, we knew a little bit about Barris from the Clone Wars, but that's about it. They made me fucking care about these characters in 3 fucking vignettes. Okay? In what is the total? 45 minutes?
I don't think even that, because with credits and everything, it's probably more like 35.
3 seasons of 16 fucking episodes each. You couldn't make me care about these fucking characters. In these little vignettes, you made me care about these characters. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I'm not saying you're wrong.
You're not wrong. I have to. You know me, Lunga. When I have an opportunity, I have to put that up.
Am I wrong, bro?
No.
Am I wrong?
Lunga,
she came down in a
hell
bubble,
with you.
bro.
I suffered through hell with you.
Oh, grow up, dude. He like walks
Grow
out
up,
the
dude.
room. Yeah, she came down in a bubble, Doug.
Bro, dog, yeah.
And I even told someone on Twitter today that there won't be any Star Wars meltdowns this episode. Well, we had one because fucking Bad Batch got brought up. Damn it.
Yeah, oh yeah, there we go.
But I mean, but it shows you the point, right?
It's genuine.
And I'm not even
genuine. Yeah.
I'm not even talking about something other IP, something else, or the old Star Wars, right? Which people always like to compare it to the original trilogy. No, this is brand new. And an episode, by the way, that everyone's calling woke, right? Because of the whole they thing and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
A whole nother.
But dude, these 3 episodes, even by the second one, they made me care about these fucking characters. Why couldn't you do that in the Bad Batch?
Because well, I don't know.
Well, it was written and created by different people, of course.
This is the Bad Batch.
Yeah, but after we wrap up this next episode and everything,
16 episodes a season, 3 seasons. You figured they could have done it by accident. Okay.
Yeah, but
Maybe
yeah,
that was their
this is a lot more
plan.
focused, too. I mean, this is a very focused story. I mean, it is vignettes. It's only 2 characters. It's 6 episodes. They're all very small, so it is focused. Before we move on to the last episode, then we'll talk about who wrote and directed the series and everything. Palp Memes, what did you think about episode 5, Realization?
I always get worried you guys are going to skip on me.
No, I know how to segue. We're working on it, bro. We're doing good.
Since Lunga compared it to the Bad Batch, I now have a free ticket to compare this to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Can we agree that the scene in the little area, the outside cantina thing, really reminded you guys of, I think it was episode 1 of Kenobi, right?
Oh,
and
Reva
what Lynn did, what Lynn was, I should say, and how she acted, how she persuaded herself, is what I really wanted with Reva and Obi-Wan Kenobi. For whatever reason, I don't really know at this point because it's been so long since I've seen it, but Reva makes me cringe in Kenobi at the end of the day. I'm sorry if people like her. She makes me cringe. Whereas Lynn, I'm like, yeah, she's insane. I like her. I like her as a villain. So even though it's just these little scenes, I don't know if that's the way it's performed or I don't know. But that scene where she takes out everyone.
It was the supporting pieces around it. It was Barris's reaction. It was the kid's reaction. It was her little motions of hiding him
going on.
Even the villager saying something like, he lies, and then she's like, "You lied to me," and he goes, "We are judged by our actions." Like it was, and for me,
poignant lines.
Yeah, I was like, this is almost like a religious thing for this guy. We're like, no, like I have beliefs and stuff like that. Like it was so fucking powerful. But go ahead, Pal.
Yeah. And like one cinematography shot that this is my favorite in this episode, probably in the entire show, to be honest, is the wide shot during the lightsaber battle. The blue on the right and the red on the left. That's twin sons from Rebels right there. That wide shot of Obi-Wan and Maul. That's what I immediately thought of. I even thought of Ahsoka when Anakin first gets his red lightsaber in the whatever the hell scene that was. I still don't know.
I remember.
I don't even fucking know, but
I remember the memory.
Yeah, but that shot, I was like, that's a good shot. That's a good wallpaper shot. Yeah, so definitely a banger. Probably the best. Probably the best of this season or series. I would say.
I would say for emotional impact. Impact. It was the best of the 6.
Yeah,
that's where I'm leaning. Where this
I
really
enjoyed
was
it the
like my favorite one, and like I said earlier about like the cinematography with it at the beginning and the art style they went for. This one had a lot of moments where I was like, oh, wow, like that. It felt it was like watching Andor, like where there's some episodes of Andor where you're like, man, that was beautiful, or like I'm shocked with how they're going with this. I was very impressed with this episode. So yeah, I imagine all thumbs up for all 3 of us.
Yes, way up, and just like everyone, we loved the original trilogy, was started everything, and it's like, oh, Tarkin just blew up Alderaan, and Princess Leia's reaction, which by the way wasn't. We love the original trilogy, but her reaction to seeing her entire planet blow up was not very moving for anyone.
She was a teenager; she didn't care about anything,
bro. It came down in a bubble, dog. But anyway, there was more emotional impact from her slaughtering. This was maybe 20 people in that village square, town square, whatever it was. There was more emotional impact of her doing that than there was Tarkin blowing up an entire planet. You know what I mean? Because we saw the effect it had on one person.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so 3 thumbs up again on that. We've been in unison for every single episode so far.
This is
On
wild.
to the last one, The Way Out. The description is a shadow from Barris's past catches up with her. So as we know, like she completely like leaves the Inquisitorius thing, goes and does her own thing. Pop memes, I'm gonna let you take this one first because I've been going first for all these and everything, getting you
I was
last.
taking a break.
Take it away.
That's
What
fine.
what'd you think about episode 6 of Tales of the Empire?
The metaphor for the cave, right, being you go in there, you're not going to figure out how to get out unless someone like Barris helps you. The metaphor for that, we realize at the end, is the metaphor for Lynn falling into the Empire. I thought that was fucking cool. I think that was awesome. I'm all for metaphors. I love that shit. I love all that crap. And I thought that was really great. I know we're talking about emotional impact. I don't know. Thinking more about this episode, I think this episode had the most emotional impact for me personally. Um, I like seeing Barris in the sense of she's like, I'm not going to fight you. You're going to have to kill me, but I'm going to let you kill me, quote unquote, so that these people, my family essentially, can escape and you're never going to be able to get them. I thought that was great. I mean, I don't have much else to say other than that. It ended in a way I liked. I like that it ended on a more kind of melancholy, somber note where it's like, yeah, Barris is dead. We're sad. But we also don't really know what's going to happen with Lynn, right? So it brings up some questions, and maybe we'll see a Lynn short or vignette or something. I don't know, but I think for emotional payoff and stakes and stuff, I think this one was probably my favorite in that sense.
Longo, what was your take on this episode? Devoted.
Yeah.
Or was that The Way Out? Whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I agree with that. But it was more than just her saying, I'm going to this cave to save my family. She was also going to the cave to save Lynn. And that's what she was trying to do to her. What that Jedi was trying to do to her for her in episode 2. She mirrored that and was trying to do that to Lynn, for Lynn in this, and she succeeded. Right? Unfortunately, it was too late with the saber going through her. But is Barris dead? I mean, the line I said that the Jedi said to her in the second episode where Barris said to him, I won't let you die. Barris said, or Lynn said it to Barris before she carried her out of the cave.
I kind of hope she's dead. I kind of hope she
Yeah,
is.
I don't want her to live. I think this is
You don't want another lightsaber to the gut and surviving?
No, I'm tired of that.
I hate that it keeps happening, or maybe happens again.
I've always hated the idea of these characters living past Order 66, of course, and mostly the original trilogy. They don't help out Luke, whatever. The way they did her character off in this series, in this episode, I think was good enough to merit this being the end. I think this episode, it honestly wasn't my favorite out of the 3, but I don't have any like real dislikes about it either. I like that she's now a healer, but she's not like claiming to be like a Jedi master or anything like that. She seems like someone kind of like what me and Lunga thought Ezra would be like after being in a galaxy far, far away from the galaxy that's far, far away.
Yeah.
He'd be so great.
But instead, he was still the same 15-year-old kid he was when we saw him last.
Yeah.
He didn't mature at all.
But now Barris is like a legendary force healer or something like that. She doesn't really do combat or anything. She doesn't seem to be like a full-fledged Jedi master or even a knight or whatever, but she is one with the force in her own way and she has a connection with it. And so she's helping people. And I liked seeing that. And then like Palpatine's was saying, there's a big to do with, Lynn going to the ice cave and whatever and getting lost. There's a lot of force elements in that. And I think the discussion they had at the end was very touching, but I do think this is a satisfying ending to the story of Barris. And
my question is, it could be kind of maybe a lore-ish kind of thing, possibly. Because every time we've seen caves, it's always a dark side cave, right? If you think about it.
Yeah.
It's always some kind of dark side
most
cave.
of the time.
Could this have been a light side cave? Because it seemed to have some kind of, change effect to pulling away from darkness when they were in his cave, and with the whole mirror thing, mirrors bounce light, and stuff. So, I mean, I felt that this was kind of a light side cave instead of a dark side cave.
Well, because anything that Lynn did that would have been bad is kind of on herself. And what was causing that was not only not finding these people that she's looking for, but the reflection of herself. She kept running into herself, that she was preventing herself
to
from
slash it away, right?
Yeah, so I can see it being more of a light side cave where there's nothing, it's not showing you something dangerous like the dark side came on Dagobah, where it's like, no, you need to fight Vader, your father, and but your father's actually you. This could be you.
Or
in the
you can
future.
become
It
your
makes you
father
think.
if you continue down this path.
It makes you think and everything. And this made Lynn think, but she wasn't thinking, and that's why she could never get out. It was a very beautiful, metaphor, like Palpatine was saying. So I'm very happy with this one. Thumbs up from
Yeah.
everybody again.
No,
Thumbs
easily.
up.
Yeah,
And it does
100%.
seem like I believe most likely, because it seemed like a lot of time passed. We saw the lines on her face. So this had to be right before A New Hope.
Like A New Hope or something like that.
yeah.
No, the time had gone on. So I think we gave 5 of the episodes. All 3 of us gave it thumbs up, and then all 3 of us gave the Path of Hate with Morgan Elsbeth a thumbs down. So imagine over the whole series, Tales of the Empire, we give this.
Oh, here we go.
Thumbs up. What?
Almost unanimous how good this series was. And here we have Goldman.
Wow.
Oh, come on!
Well, you know what? You,
No.
Goldman, no, it's not. It's Golf Man now. He's Golf Man. You're over there playing golf, not doing your duties on Chatooine. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
Didn't like a single episode.
A single episode, bro. Come on.
Didn't like a single episode, but he's gonna
Can't
like The
even
Last
defend his
Jedi.
takes
The
because
movie
he's
that
But
like,
ruined
Rebels
Star
is
Wars.
the greatest thing ever made.
oh my god.
Goldman's
So, I mean-
opinions, I don't know, mine confuse you guys too, but his opinions confuse me so much. They really do.
This was quality to me. Honestly, I think everybody knows for Chatooine, for all 3 of us to be like, yes, this is a good episode or a good series or something like that.
Doesn't happen that
This
often.
says something. It is very, very rare. So, Longa, do you have the calendar that we can get into before we watch the Acolyte thing and close it out?
Yeah.
Are we not gonna rate the show?
Oh yeah. I apologize. I apologize.
And I've got my number.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about the rating because we've all given it thumbs up. But yes, okay.
Let's do it real quick though, because yeah.
Yeah, we got a time crunch. So, Pop Memes, go ahead. What would you give this series, Tales of the Empire?
6.9. It's good.
Come
I liked
on,
it.
Get out of here.
That's good.
You're giving
That's
that
a
number
good
because
score.
of the number. You
All
like
right, 6.8.5. All right. I don't know.
This is overall for the entire, all 6 episodes, for the entire thing?
Yeah, it was almost a 7, which is a really good score. Yeah. It's not
5 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down, and that averages out to 6.9.
Yeah, it's a 6.
Hold on. It wasn't extraordinary. Okay, 6.9 for rating for media is good.
He's that one judge at the Olympics who's always got to give,
Okay, but it's
like you
not
see,
like
you see
Andor
9.5,
like
9.8, 9.6.
It didn't like change my view
8.9.
of America like Andor did, right? It didn't. All right.
Like, what was wrong with my performance, sir? Oh no, you were perfect, but you're not Michael Phelps. I mean, I don't know. Come on,
okay,
there's
fine.
here.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's
okay,
what you're
7,
saying
then
here.
fine,
You gave it a
7.
6.9. Oh wow, yeah,
7.
Big one up.
Thank you
That's a good
thank you
score.
for that 10th of a point. We appreciate it.
Thank you for giving me a real score.
I don't understand. That's good.
We're not doing like 6.5, 6.9. No, you gave it a 7. All right, that's fine. Firm and fair. Lunga, what would you give this series, Tales of the Empire?
Yeah, 8.5.
Oh, come on with the points.
8.5. No. But here's the thing. If it wasn't for that, if they wrapped up that Morgan Elsbeth one, it would have been a 9.
That's fair. That's
okay,
fair.
I can
Half a
agree
point.
with that. I guess you get me on that. Yeah, because I would give this an 8. I would give this an 8 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed
How you
it.
tell me? Oh, come on! I rated it higher than you. I said 8.5.
Yeah, but I'm not giving you a little.
What the fuck is that all about?
It's a 9, but it's not really a 9. It's like in
That's
between.
valid. It was very close to being a 9. That's
Okay,
a very valid point.
I don't give a fuck.
Literal
I'm giving
point.
it-
And a point
I'm giving
5.
it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed this. For
Okay,
what it is.
at least we're not
Wasn't
giving it.
perfect.
What did we give the Bad Batch, a 2 out of 10? Like,
No,
How
you
the
gave
fuck
it a
am I
2.
gonna get a oh come on when I rated it the highest of all 3 of us? What the hell?
Okay, I'll concede. Maybe I should give it an 8.5. I don't want to do the
Oh
point
my
decimal
gosh.
system. All right, I just feel like it's easier to be like, yo, it's.
I want to watch the Acolyte trailer because I like the look of the Aboleth looking character. All right.
Let's get the calendar out of the way. We'll get the Acolyte trailer, and then we'll. get
Yeah.
everybody
So
home.
was this the correct calendar? Because it has May 1st on there, man.
Oh no, that's
That's the only calendar that's in the drive. It's the May calendar.
I promise you, I uploaded the right one. I clicked on it earlier.
I mean, I'll try adding it again. Let's see what it does now here. It says May 1st.
That's wild.
Good job. Only.
No, hey, I
Oh,
mean, on the OneDrive, the one that I just pulled up right here, it starts with May 15th. So
yeah, maybe it's just not
calendar May.
updating. Maybe it's just not updating in my
Yeah, can we share my screen?
system.
Nah.
I love this comment by X All if we can pull it up. He says even. Well, go ahead and pull it up if someone can. It's funny.
I can't on mine. That's long as running the show these days.
Well, he
sir.
said even when all Star Wars fans agree to love someone, they still cannot come to an agreement. That is true. That is how the Chatooine show runs. It's we cannot just be in agreement on everything. There's got to be something where we disagree on decimal points. Okay,
Yeah.
that's how we are. You should
Okay,
use
now
decimal points.
it processed. Really? Come on. My OneDrive just was not updating. All right,
See,
here we
this
go.
is the on-air
There it
fixes
is.
that we got. Look at that, beautiful. So May 15th next week we'll be ranking the Star Wars animated shows. May 22nd we're going to be the kind of leading into the Acolyte and everything. We're going to be talking about the Sith and the Rule of Two, and then May 29th we're doing the Acolyte series predictions, and then July 5th it's time, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be covering the Acolyte.
Who
here
wrote that?
Chatooine.
What month is next month?
May, June. Sorry, my bad.
July.
June.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah. I'm taking a whole
Good
month off. I
job.
don't know if I told you.
So
guys.
I did all that work to bring up the correct one that you apparently don't
I couldn't even
understand.
get the date right. Ooh.
If you got pulled over for DUI and they would say, okay, name out the months, April, May, July.
I thought it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
No, I think it's Godfather. Michael, look, I speak English. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday.
You shouldn't even say it right and have to fucking you guys know
Apollonia,
Texas, right?
gotta love Apollonia.
But yeah, no, we got some shows coming up.
think
Maybe
it's
next
trailer
week's
time.
show
I
might
think
be
it's trailer
canceled,
time.
but we'll see. I got a lot of life going on. But yeah, let's pull up the Acolyte trailer they showed on May 4th when we were at the movie theaters watching Phantom of the Menace.
Let me just share it again just to make sure I'm doing it correctly first. I don't want to have audio issues. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go.
Give me with your best shot.
Last night,
Tassi
a
Loa.
Jedi was murdered.
The subtitles
Jedi
from the studio that made Star Wars.
I love how they don't bring up Book of Bob.
justified galactic dominance in the name of peace.
And I want to mention, like you guys were complaining about the looks of the
Is a
clothing and
lie.
stuff. Obviously, there was a lot of post work done.
100%.
on stuff.
Jedi are
Yeah.
being hunted.
I mean, look at that.
The gold is much more prominent.
She was my student. I trained
Oh,
her.
look at him young there.
That's a
Let
flashback.
me be the one to bring
Yeah.
her in.
I don't like shots like that. That big wide shot of them fighting. Not.
I sense this is only a small part of a larger plan.
I'm not sure if I want to like her too much. Her voice seemed
I
very
don't like that
flat
kid.
to
I don't
me.
know why. I've never liked
Tip the
that kid.
scales.
I don't know why.
You know who she sounded like to me? She sounded like fucking Nebula from Marvel.
Past.
Oh god.
Oh yeah. I just watched Guardians 3. It's pretty
No
good.
one is paid. Look at all this shit. Like the fellowship.
Destiny is
Yep.
not decided for
And that
you
is
by an
Octu.
I need to-
100%. That is
I need to-
Octu.
Oh, it's
If you
gotta be.
want to pull
Yeah.
the
That's
thread
what everyone's saying.
and change everything.
The lightsaber.
And then we have
he's
the
getting
reveal.
stuff.
Who is this
Look
motherfucker?
at that. I mean,
Fuck, is
that's
Kylo
pretty
Ren
cool.
back?
Oh, no, a lot of people are, there's a lot of rumors
That's a
speculating.
Ren.
People are speculating that it's a Ren.
Yeah,
Which
because
I-
the first
listen-
Ren looks. It's got the same shape. I will say real quick though, guys. I just want to say this real quick. The dialogue for me, it's just not there. It's so.
Well, yeah.
Again, it's cut. You remember how trailers are done? It's cut
No,
up.
I know,
and
I
it's
know, I
dialogue
know,
from
I know,
separate
but-
scenes. put
No,
together.
but even like full, I know I can hear that when they are cut, but still, I don't know. It's just so.
You can't.
But-
you can't.
but-
You can't get that from a trailer.
Well, we'll see when the show comes out, but no,
because it's
that
literally
Ren character.
2 or 3 second sound bites from
I
different
know,
scenes
I know,
mashed
I know.
together.
But some of the writing is just so like flat, like someone's hunting Jedi. I don't know. It's just
Well, like I said, that
nitpicks.
whole,
I get it. Nitpicks. I get it.
It does
okay?
seem a little
Um,
corny, but it is. I will say it looks a lot better with this trailer. Than
It
what we
was
saw the first
yeah.
time.
I think because being only in the group chat whenever this came out,
Lot
we
of
both
posts.
wrote. Yeah, we both
Yeah.
were like, okay, this looks way better than that first trailer. If this
Oh,
was
I
the
didn't even
original
notice
trailer that
this.
dropped,
So let's
That's
scrub a little
wild.
bit here. That's the same. That's Sith Lord or Sith or whatever he is.
Yeah.
I didn't
He's
even
gotta
notice him
be-
standing up there.
What?
Oh,
That
look
was
at the
in the first
helmet.
trailer,
That's
I think.
100%. That's 100% him. If you look at it, I mean, you're seeing
Yeah,
it
I know
smaller on the
Oh,
share,
it's
but
like
if
a
you go,
silhouette shot, it's kind of hard. To,
no.
more than likely,
watch it
yeah.
again on your full fucking 8K fucking monitor, and you'll see the shape of the
My
helmet.
monitor's
It is
only
literally.
1080.
Yeah, no,
actually, believe it or not.
that's 100% him.
No,
and
no,
I was
it is.
obviously being
I'm curious to
facetious.
see-
I like that shot. I like that shot of them running through the forest, the fire forest. That was cool.
Yeah, but that's probably like in the first episode, like her.
I hate that kid. I don't know. I'm gonna hate that kid. I hope he dies.
So harsh.
Which kid?
He's just a kid,
The one who has
The blonde
the
one.
broccoli haircut.
and his eyes.
I
get
don't know.
turned black.
I manage a gym, and
By the
so I
way,
see so many. It's everywhere that I think that's what's doing it for me.
Yeah, no, that big shot of her doing like a 360 flip in the air. I
Right
can't stand it.
there, right.
That
Him.
guy.
I don't know. I hate him. I hope he dies. I don't know. I just hate him.
He does look like Star Wars version of Justin Timberlake when he was on the Disney show.
Oh my gosh,
I was
yeah.
gonna
the
say,
Musketeer.
he
The Musketeer.
could be
Let's get that
Goldman
shot.
with
That's
no
that's
beard.
Octo 2 for sure.
Oh, with her
Let's get
in
that.
the background, yeah,
Yeah, let's get that shot. Yeah.
yeah, it's Octo. It's one. I
yeah,
mean,
it's Octo.
well, I don't know. We see something. I guess they're playing loosey goosey because the Octo
I mean,
is
it is a
supposed
big
to be a
planet. It
complete
could be
water world
any
with
part of
one
it.
island. Now these are just
Yeah.
outcroppings, so that's
Yeah.
fine. But what we see something else
Well, we
over
see
here.
those in Last Jedi. I think like little bits that are out there. I think too. in
Yeah,
Last
yeah, they could
Jedi.
just be little
and it
outcroppings
seems
and not a
like
full
what's
island.
happening is that the Jedi are hunting her and the Sith Lord guy. I think they're hunting her, and he finds her or something and like helps her out and then like takes everybody out because it seems like a lot of this is happening on that Octu.
I like
looking
that shot.
planet.
I like that Lord of the Rings like shot right there.
Like, see,
Yeah.
yeah, see that right there. I think that's the same planet as the islands that she's on.
You think so?
Yeah, just something about
Well,
the
yeah, 'cause
color
on
of
that
the
shot-
planet and everything and how
Yeah,
I don't
wild.
know,
that
just
might
the
not
way
be
the way
Octo.
these.
Because there's too many. There's too many.
This
Like
is
in the
close,
background there,
though.
you have a whole other island. Like there's too many. I don't think. I don't know. I don't.
That's
think
the
so.
same one I was pointing out in the other shot that there was that in the background. Where the hell is this green bitch? The one that was that's from the novels.
Why do you care about her?
Oh, I don't know. I don't like the look of her though.
I like
don't know,
the
it just
Sith.
looks.
But her voice, she sounds like Karen Gillian doing Nebula. It was
She
just
does.
very,
Yeah.
and it,
Like,
it
kinda
fit
like
as
the
Nebula because
robotic-y
she's a cyborg, right? It,
Yeah.
it fit with that, but yeah. But with this one, I don't know. I don't know if I want to like her character that much. She seemed her voice acting.
I don't know. I think it's
seems
the look for me.
very-
Like the look. It just looks. I don't know. Not it.
The look is it's the sound of her voice seems very flat to me. It just doesn't. I don't think it's gonna.
I like
Carry
Carrie
any
Ann
weight.
Moss. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's Carrie
It-
Ann Mouse, man. Come on.
We saw the scene, that whole scene during the Phantom Menace. Lunga didn't because Lunga's a fake fan, but that's okay.
No, I'm not a
That
fake
scene
fan.
wasn't bad. I mean,
Here's the
Palpatine,
thing.
What do you think about it?
Okay,
Like,
bitch. Hold on. Slow down. You told us when was the last time you watched it that you had so much revelations.
oh yeah,
watching
you
the
said it
second
was like
time.
12 years
When's
ago.
the
I
last
said, I
time
think I
you
was
watched
like,
it?
I said, like in full, I think I was like 12.
12.
That's the
How
last
long
time
ago
you've
was
seen
that?
The Phantom
Palpatine?
Menace.
In
Oh my
full,
God.
I think so. I could be wrong. I could have like done a marathon. I was like 14 or 15, but I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
I watch the prequels usually once a year.
Yep,
Oh hell no!
same,
But I don't
same.
do that for any movies. Maybe a Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Just
I'm
saying,
insane. I
don't
rewatch
call
a lot
me,
of things,
don't
but-
call me a fake
Okay.
fan, biatch.
Okay,
Okay.
I watch. Okay, I'm better though. I watch the making
I'm
of
better.
Phantom Menace documentary like 4 times a year. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
know-
even-
you know
I don't
why?
even wanna
You know why?
how many
So you
times
can do
I listen
this.
to that.
That's why you watch the
I
making
like
of.
George Lucas. George Lucas is my hero. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
My name is Star Wars Theory.
Go get your toy stuff, get ready and everything, and make money off of licensing. Any final thoughts on this trailer before we wrap the show up, boys? We're going past our.
I don't want to say
I
too
mean-
much because we'll talk in full the
Yeah.
week before
I mean,
the
about-
Acolyte.
Well, it's just
Yeah.
a trailer. Like I figured.
I know, but
when you guys were poo pooing fucking. Oh, it looks like cosplay fucking robes.
okay, those pictures they released it.
First
The
of all-
visuals are unappealing.
What the fuck do you think they make? Do you think they have special fabric for the movies? It's made out of the same shit that cosplayers use. Okay, but what makes them look crisper? No. What makes them look better? No, you sound like the motherfuckers bitching about Corn Switch Superman suit. There's creases. Yeah, fabric creases, motherfucker. Unless it's a rubber suit. Okay. The James Gunn anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that looked good. So
to make their suits pop, especially with this High Republic stuff and the contrasting with the gold and yellow, it's a lot of it's going to be added in post with filtering. That's what's going to make stuff pop.
Well, and also
not
say
just,
if they
these
start
are linen
out
robes,
really crisp,
dude.
If they
They're
start
linen.
out very crisp, and then we're seeing in the trailer once they get into this investigation stuff, it looks like they start getting more worn in and stuff. But
I would just like it to look real. It's not visually appealing to me. It's simple as that.
Look real? What the bitch? What look real? What? They're fucking monk robes. What the fuck do you want them to look like? They don't look like sci-fi. They literally look like fucking
sci-fi.
Tibetan monk robes.
It looks like a sci-fi show about wizards.
No.
It does.
No.
You're starting to sound like
it looks visually unappealing. I mean, I don't look at
and we can't say you're wrong for that because that's your own. That's your own. You know,
when I talked about
view.
the Phantom Menace and seeing this in the theaters, what did I say in the chat? When they go to like Tatooine or something, it's like okay, like this. You know, you go into real sets. You know, Qui-Gon's little fucking like poncho and everything he's got on it. Like it all looks
I wish they look real.
The second they go
doesn't
to
look like fucking cotton. It doesn't look cottony enough for you, motherfucker.
It's all CGI and everything. You know. It doesn't look like anyone has ever worn those clothes, and it looks like the people who are wearing it.
Because it's the end of the High Republic. Yeah, they're very pressed. So their robes are pristine.
So are you telling me? Are you telling me that they? Hang on. Are you telling me they get a brand new outfit every day? Every day.
Pull it up on the screen.
No, they have very good dry cleaning, man. They have very good dry cleaning.
Yeah, the dry cleaning is just so amazing.
The High Republic. Gilded in gold. What the fuck? Of course it's going to look like that.
Did the dry cleaning guy quit by the time the prequels were coming out?
It is the contrast between this very gilded age and what we saw in the prequels where they became very, very monkish and very, very, very minimalist. Okay? That's the contrast.
You know what I'm not seeing? You know what I'm not seeing? I'm not seeing Star Wars. This doesn't look or feel like a Star. If I showed this to someone 20 years ago, they'd be like, "What the fuck is this? Is this the new Star Trek show coming out?"
You're full of shit. You're full of shit. Right. Qui-Gon Jinn was talking into a fucking razor, a woman's fucking razor.
Star Wars Theories fan film just dropped. This is it. I kid. Okay, just for the record. All right, I joke.
Okay. I get the joke now. That was.
Matt, here's the comment of the night. By the way, Force laundry is the power they introduce in the show.
You know what it is, Lunga? I just don't understand.
You just don't understand.
I don't understand. You remember understanding? Because I don't.
I don't. But no, I'm giving it a fair shot. This trailer looks infinitely better than the first trailer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you could tell. They did a lot of work in post.
We have it started that this was our most hyped show and project for 3 years, and that we have said this now. 4.
I'm excited for it. I especially seeing that Sith or a dark side character. I can't call it a Sith because we don't know.
Yeah, we can't even call it Sith because we don't know. Everyone's saying that she's not the acolyte. He's the acolyte. He or she, whoever's in that outfit.
That would be interesting.
But I am excited. I am very much excited.
She's got a twin though. It's on the poster or the banner.
I think I did see something about that. Well, anywho, we'll be back next Wednesday night. Hopefully, I'll keep you guys posted because I got some stuff going on in my world where I might not be able to do.
Oh yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I mentioned that, guys. We may not be here next Wednesday for real life reasons. So if there's no Chatooine next Wednesday, that's why. But we will definitely be back the week after.
And we will keep you posted as soon as we have more information. But yeah, we are coming back, and then get ready because the Acolyte series does come out on June 5th, not July.
Hey, hold on. Is Golf Man coming back June 5th?
Golf Man.
Who
I don't
knows?
call him Goldman anymore.
You'll have to pull in on June 5th and see who could be on the Chatooine. Could it be Brendan Wayne? Could it be George Lucas? Could it be the Goldman? Could be anybody. Some say Jon Favreau. I think Mr. Plinkett might even make a special appearance. But you'll find out.
And guys, if you want to help us out, become a member, Barry. Link is pinned at the chat at the bottom of the page, or top of the page, right underneath the video there. can help us out, it's much appreciated. If not, your presence is good enough. Send us on our way only.
If you want a member, become a member, Barry. All right.
There you go.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Chatooine Show. May the force be with you always.